Hi, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to paint a more detailed butterfly. So these butterflies can be found in my silk painting kit, or you can watch my butterfly silk scarf workshop as well to learn how to draw these butterflies and paint them onto your very own silk scarf. So to start with, I'm just going to show you what materials you'll need. First of all, the silk has been ironed onto pre-cut freezer paper sheets. These are 12 by 17, available from silkcraft.co.uk. This means I don't need a frame because the paint won't seep into the background. It stops it basically just seeping through the silk. So you will need several brushes. So I've got sort of a medium brush and a smaller brush for larger areas and more detailed areas. The smaller, more detailed areas, obviously use the small brush. The more paint you have on the brush, the more you obviously will spread sort of onto the silk. If you overload your brush too much, it can often seep into the over the gutter lines. So be quite careful when you're painting, not to get too much paint on your brush. So I'm going to start with choosing a colour. So I've got several different colours here. I'm painting an autumn butterfly, so I'm using like a plum colour, brown, red, orange and yellows. So these are water-based colours. You fix them with an iron, so the iron fix paints. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to show you how to blend the colours. So I'm going to start with a darker colour. I think I'll start with the plum. I'm just going to place my paintbrush on the silk, but not too close to the gutter lines. So obviously the gutter acts as a barrier. But if you get the paintbrush and the paint too close to the gutter lines, it can sometimes seep through. So just be quite careful. And obviously when you draw your butterflies on with the gutter, make sure there are no gaps, because the paint will seep through the gaps. Just double check and run your eyes over the gutter lines and see, just check basically that the lines are solid. So I'm going to place my brush onto the silk. Can you see how it just naturally spreads to the gutter lines? So I'm going to work quite quickly, because what I want to do now is change colours. I need to do it quickly before the paint dries, so I'm going to get a yellow, and I'm going to just blend very, very quickly into the plum colour. If you don't blend quickly, the paint can dry, and then you'll end up with the sort of paint lines or water lines. So just keep painting gently. The paint will naturally spread to the gutter lines, but if you've got some gaps, just gently dot the paintbrush around the areas. There we go. So I find it much easier to start with a dark colour and then use a light colour for blending. So I'm going to obviously do the other side, the other wing, to make it symmetrical. I work quite quickly, but don't rush it. So just keep blending. And just make sure it's all sort of soft. So you haven't got any harsh lines when you're blending, just keep going. If any lines appear as it's drying, just keep blending with the brush. until they disappear. Now I'm going to use the smaller brush, and I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use the brown this time. And what I'm going to do is just, I'm going to do 2 at a time here. Stop the brown, rinse my brush, change colours, and I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use the pale orange. Be very careful because it's obviously tricky as you get to the really, really small parts. So I just dot my paintbrush very gently so I don't go over the lines. The more you practice, the more you better do different sections at the same time. So I'm going to really quickly dab my brush with the brown, and then, oops, then get the light orange. So as you see, between the colours there's no harsh lines because I blended it quickly before the paint dries. I'll do the other side. I'll do all 4 sections in one go. If you don't feel confident doing this, just do 1 section at a time. It's just important to not let the paint dry. I'm dabbing the white bits at the end so the paint doesn't flow over the gutter lines. I'm going to choose the plum colour for the head and the body. Yellow, the middle of the body. So obviously choose whatever colours you want. If you are using a silver gutter, you might want to use purples and blues. Just have a play around with the colours. Careful not to put too much paint on your brush, just in case it floods over the lines. If you do, just dab it gently on the silk. Small sections like this are great if you want to teach silk painting, because you don't need to give everyone a frame. So if you're working on a table in a small area, it's a really easy way to set up silk painting classes. I often do this for the adults and children that I teach. And you can get pre-cut A4 pieces of silk craft paper as well, or you can buy rolls and cut it to your desired size, which is handy. Right, now I'm going to pick a dark orange colour. With a yellow. Blend the colours again quickly so you don't get the lines. Again, just do one section at a time if you feel more comfortable doing that. There we go, all done. So obviously this is going to be a painting or a card. You can paint the background, but if you're making a silk scarf, you'd obviously peel the freezer paper away from the silk. Just remember to heat set your paints, because these are iron fixed paints. So just run your iron on a medium heat silk setting gently over the silk, covering all the areas. Once that's done, the colour's set. So if you splash water on it or something like that, then the colours wouldn't be affected. If I drop water now on this paint, you'd get watermarks. So it's very important to set the colour after painting. But if you have any questions, please send me a message and I'll be happy to answer any questions.